Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Dodgy Gamer here, returning after a little bit of time away while I changed surroundings. This isn't my complete setup. You'll see no green screen, no place to put it yet, and lighting, audio, still working on all those things, but I've got the computer set up. Want to get straight back into some Andorra. Yes, so here we are. It's episode 68 of Andorra, the double challenge, in which I take charge of the club FC Andorra and the country of Andorra and try to lead them both along the road to glory. So before we get into things, I thought I'd take a look at my profile screen, which I don't think we've done much of before. So you see, I'm building quite a reputation. We're up to 60% now. We get on well with the media, and everything here is pretty positive. Loyalty to players is a little bit lower, but the cut and thrust of football, you've got to put your loyalties aside every so often. High domestic player bias, obviously both Spanish and Andorran players count towards that for me. So that's all good. We see my coaching skills, technical, working with youngsters up there in the 20s. Youngster knowledge, man management, motivating, all up high. And my level of discipline is literally off the charts at 21. Absolutely fantastic. We're on £15,000 a week, and always happy to talk to the press, always happy to talk to players. That's all good stuff. We've got a superb knowledge of Andorra, England, Spain and Turkey, and we've got under our belt 2 trophies so far, the Spanish Second Division and the Spanish Second Division B2. We've also got a La Liga relegation on our record, but we aren't going to worry about that too much. But today, we've got possibly one of the biggest games of this career so far. Today, we are facing Barcelona once again in the Cup, in the Spanish Cup 5th round, which is the quarterfinal. I don't know why they don't call it the quarterfinal, but that's what we'll go with. We're in the last 8. We've made it through, and we've got to travel to Nou Camp to beat Barcelona. Now, this is going to be a tough game. You'll see from the league table that we're flying high in the league. We've been in really good form, but Barcelona, as ever, they're just that bit better than everyone else. They're top of the pile at the moment as we're well past the halfway stage. We've beaten them in the league, of course. You'll remember in one of the previous episodes we beat them when they came to our place. However, we've never done anything against them at the Nou Camp, or the Camp Nou, whatever you want to call it. So it's going to be a tough ask. It's going to be such a tough ask today that actually I'm going to say, if we can beat Barcelona today, I'm going to shave off my beard. Full thing. We'll go bare-chinned for the first time in 20 years. If we go to penalties or extra time, we'll just return to the goatee. But if we win, I'll shave my beard off. Now, of course, last episode with Andorra, that was the one when we beat Barcelona, and then we followed that up with a defeat to Atletico Madrid. Just catching up on our results after that, you'll see we then took on Real Sociedad. A little bit disappointed that it was only a 0-0 as it was at home. I felt that was a game that we could have won, but we got back to winning ways the following week away to Leganés. It was 1-0. It was Guedes. We left it late. 90th minute he scored the goal, but that's the kind of game you love to win on Football Manager and hate to lose. We then went to Zaragoza, of course, were promoted together with us last year, and we got a 3-1 win. Pretty dominant. Georgie Gomez, old Georgie boy, put us in the lead just before half-time. Michael Burling with a penalty, and Guedes again. They pulled one back late, but it wasn't enough. We then started our cup run with an away tie to Europa, who I believe were Europa Second Division B. I believe so. 4-0, easy win. We ran out a few of the substitutes and backup players, so Sieta got an early goal. Marino finally scored. Kamara got himself sent off, but despite the sending off, we still had the quality. Silva and Burling came in, and they got us 2 goals late on. Then had a tough trip to Sevilla in the league after the winter break. It was a 2-0 defeat, not the best, but we got back to winning ways away to Getxo in the Spanish Cup. Marino, Burling and Sieta, although you see those last two goals came in very late. It was a kind of getting a bit nervous at 1-0 for a while there. Back to the league, Sporting Gijon, a 0-0 draw, so that was a bit of a worry that we hadn't scored a goal in the league in the new year, but then we fixed that in the next game. Atletico Pamplona, of course, came up with us last year, and Michael Burling with the penalty. Then it was back to the cup, Espanyol, the first of 2 games in the space of 4 days against Espanyol, and it was Maicon Silva who scored the only goal of the game to put us through to the next round. Espanyol hung around in Andorra, did a bit of sightseeing, came back, and they got another beating. Arlindo returned from injury, Arlindo, and João Duarte also scored in a 2-0 win. I'll tell you a little bit about Arlindo and his injuries in a moment. Then, 4th round of the Cup, Albacete. We were away. Now, Albacete are down in the 2nd division. It was Michael Burling again who got the goal to put us through. So, with all the way through to the quarterfinals, and the only La Liga team we've had to play so far has been Espanyol. Now, we then faced Levante in the league. Not our best performance, in fact, probably our worst performance of the season so far. A 4-0 defeat. I did rest quite a few players, as you might see from the lineup ahead of this Barcelona game, prioritising the cup, which may have been a mistake in hindsight, but we've put all our eggs in this Barcelona basket. Let's see if we can get out without breaking any. I mentioned Arlindo there, and you may have seen the date of February, and you may have thought, oh no, another January transfer departure, but that's not the case. We did have a couple of players move on in January, but it was Fernandez, one of our backup defenders, complaining about not getting enough game time, even though his contract said he was a backup. He was sold to Almeria for £600,000. Marco Carvalho, right winger, he's just been kept out of the team by Maicon Silva. He's gone to Nimes in France. We've got a monthly loan fee for him, so that's pretty good. We also had a new signing come in, Pablo, a young Colombian. He's gone out on loan straight away to Cordoba. And, Jorge Gonzalez. Jorge Gonzalez is the Colombian. He's gone out on loan to Vigo. Pablo, he's another youngster. I don't think I've shown him to you yet. Striker, he's gone out to Cordoba. So he's one for the future. And the news with Arlindo, you won't be able to see this because of my head, but it's been one of injury, unfortunately. As you can see, his form has continued, 9 goals in 11 starts in the league so far, but it's injuries where we get a bit of a worry with him these days. He, on New Year's Eve, pulled knee ligaments, overdoing it a bit on the FC Andorra New Year party, out for 2 weeks. He came back for that Espanyol game, and then in training, just a few days later, twisted his ankle, out for 8 days, so he's going to miss the cup tie against Barcelona. It also meant he missed the entirety of the January transfer window pretty much, which is just purely coincidence, of course. Got to protect your assets somehow. Well, looking at the draw, I was so happy when Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid were paired with each other in the first game, and then I thought, anyone other than Barcelona, and we've got a great chance of reaching the semis. And then, of course, we got Barcelona. Interesting to see that our fellow promoted teams, Zaragoza and Atletico Pamplona, also made it this far. They play each other, so one of them's guaranteed a place in the semis. Barcelona, of course, heavy favourites, but we do hold that psychological edge over them, having beaten them in our recent league encounter. I've already picked the team. Got myself all prepared, so it's Jimenez in goal, it's Gomez and Crush in the centre of defence, Jonathan and Pereira in the full-back positions, Duarte and Guedes in the middle of the park. Guedes gets the nod ahead of Macias because Guedes has picked up a league suspension, so will not be available for the next league match that he plays today. Robertson comes in. We've been playing Camara recently, but Camara had a bit of a shocker in the last game against Levante, so Robertson comes back in. Silva, Sieta, because Perez has been struggling a bit for fitness. He's on the bench. Burling up front in place of the injured Arlindo. Very similar looking lineup from the home team, Barcelona. Of course, we could have gone with something more defensive, but I've made that mistake many times before in this save. We've gone defensive and we've got thrashed. At least with our Cayman Islands-inspired formation, we can try and make it a bit interesting. Right, assistant manager says tell them the pressure's off, but we've got nothing to lose. Let's show everybody what we're capable of. That's what I normally go for in games like this, and also I've got faith in you guys. Get out there and make a difference. And the teams are lined up. We're ready to kick this off. One of our biggest games so far. Can we pull off an almighty shock and beat Barcelona at the Camp Nou and knock them out of the cup? Well, they get an early chance, but we coped with it well. We didn't panic. Good save from the keeper. Swept up by Piera. I noticed that Jonathan's already picked up a yellow, so that's something we're going to have to watch out for. And he made a mess of trying to stop Barcelona coming forward there. It's been all Barcelona in this opening 10 minutes. I thought that was a good save. Must have bounced off the outside of the post because it was a goal kick, but not looking so great for FC Andorra so far. Okay, here we go. Jonathan wins the ball in defence. Duarte, Silva, Maicon Silva. He's going to go on a tear down the right wing now, but he cuts inside. Interesting. Skins his man. Skins Evra's man. Plays it straight to the keeper. That could have been an almighty Ryan Giggs-esque cup goal there, but not to be on this occasion. Right, a free kick from deep for Barcelona, and it's Tipple. He just got the better of us at the back post and heads it in. Now our tough job just got that little bit tougher. Poor marking there. I think our defender must have had a little tipple before the game. Well, highlights-wise, it's been all Barcelona, but we have had a couple of chances. We're actually edging them for possession, would you believe? But we've got to turn that into something. We've got a couple of players looking anxious. Jonathan and Guedes have both picked up yellows as well, and Burling all looking a bit anxious. Well, I've got to tell them, show me something else in the second half. That's fired them all up. That's got them ready to go. I mean, Burling's only on a 6.5. Guedes as well. Yeah, so they're the guys who are underperforming. We're going to give them 15 minutes to turn it round. We're not going to do anything rash. We're containing Barcelona to an extent. I've made that mistake also many times before in this save where we tweak things and then we get picked apart. But, we've got to stick with what's not necessarily working, but what's not a complete disaster for us either. Here comes Silva. Gets his cross into Robertson. Robertson with 2 shots, both blocked. We've still got a chance here. Pereira's come in. Silva again. Silva drives past the defender. Oh, that was so close. Barcelona free kick. Oh, they play a cheeky short one. But I thought he was going to get dispossessed, but they held on to the ball well. Gazmi is going to try and get the cross in. He pulls one back to Armic. Jimenez gets beaten at his near post. He won't want to see the replay of that one, will Jimenez? He's only young, remember, Jimenez, and just 19, but beautiful play from Gazmi there. The awareness that Amick was around, and not quite sure what happened there. I guess it hit the post, but poor Jimenez. Right, we're going to take off Guedes. We're going to bring Macias in instead, because Guedes is just making mistakes left, right and centre. Burling, I'm not sure, he's not having a great game, but the only other option I've got is the youngster Marino. Marino, I guess he's done it in the Cup. He's scored a couple of goals for us in the Cup, and he's comfortable playing as the advanced forward. So we'll stick with that for now. We'll watch these guys on the yellows, though. Getting someone sent off would not help our cause now at all. Right, we're going to start going a bit more direct. We'll take off play out of defence. We'll keep run at the defence on and, hitting those early crosses. We'll make them low because we know Marino's got a bit of pace. And we'll start to counter-press and we'll distribute it out to the flanks as well. Make sure that's all done quickly. Right, let's see if that makes any kind of difference for us. If we could score a goal just to set up a grandstand finish, that would be great. Right, we're going to bring on Perez, our Andorran superstar. Maybe he can make a difference for us. Going to put on the overlaps as well. Really up that tempo. Go super direct now. Come on, boys. Let's push forward. Yes, come on. We've got a highlight. Pereira whips one into Silva. Silva heads it in at the far post. Oh, it's 2-1. No offside. The goal's been allowed. We've got 5 minutes to pull off a miracle here and force extra time. Beautiful play by Silva. Beautiful cross by Pereira. The defence were ball watching. Could we cause a shock here? Right, we're going to go shoot on sight. We're going to push everything up super high. Really put those Barcelona boys under pressure. 5 minutes of stoppage time. Can we get something here, or are we just going to have no highlights once again, despite going very attacking? There you go. Well, it's a 2-1 defeat. We're out of the cup. The cup run is done. But we've got to say, well done, FC Andorra. That was a mighty fine effort in the cup this year. Much better than we've done in the cup before. And if you look at the stats, in the end, we matched Barcelona pretty well. They edged it, literally edged it, 51-49 on possession, 14-13 on shots. But we have not embarrassed ourselves in the slightest there. So you gave it your best. Good effort, lads, is what we will say. And now we will turn our focus back to the league. Oh, that's interesting. Alaves from the second division made it through. Zaragoza as well. Oh, if we could have got through and drawn one of those two teams, we would have had a great chance of making the final. But it will come in the future. Maybe. So that means from here on out, we just focus on the league. We've got Tenerife away next. That's a game where we've got to be targeting the 3 points. Got a bit of a tough run then. Home games, but Sevilla and Real Madrid back to back. Then Zaragoza at home again. That's got to be a winnable game for us. Then moving into March, we've got Atletico Madrid away and Barcelona away in April. Those are our toughest games remaining. But after that, I think, we've got a chance of a pretty successful season here. If I just bring the table up, I highly doubt we're getting relegated now. We're on 40 points. We've got that magic number. We're currently in 5th, so that would put us in a European qualifying place. Can we hang on to a European qualifying place? Well, that's the big question that we need to answer over the remainder of this season. And I do hope you'll be joining me for it. What we'll do is I'm going to try and get through quite a few games now, and we'll come back. We won't come back for another Barcelona game, but maybe we can come back for Villarreal at home. That could be a pretty big game, and then come back towards the end of the season as well for that run-in to see if we're still in the hunt for a European place, or are we just going to drift into mid-table obscurity? Let me know what you think down in the comments. But I thank you very much for joining me for this episode and joining me all the way to the end, if indeed you have. And thank you for your patience while I got things reset up in my new home, and hopefully we'll have plenty of drive and success from here. But thank you again for watching. I'm Dodgy Gamer. See you again soon.